Year 5 and Year 6. So this week we are going to continue with our problem solving, and what we're going to do today is we're going to run through the 4 different problems that you've been set. The purpose of this week is, although we're giving you a starting point, we would like you to see where you're going to take the investigation. So we're going to give you a little task that you have to do, and then we'd like to see where you think you can take your learning next. So you can be as creative and imaginative as you like. Remember, you can present anything in any way you need to. Show me your workings. There is nothing wrong this week. So we're going to start with Monday's lesson, and Monday's lesson is called average limits. So first of all, the thing we need to remember is what an average is. So an average is when we put everything back together and we share it out fairly. So for example, with the numbers at the bottom, let's imagine these are goals for a football team. If they scored 3, 7, 2, 4 and 1 goals across their matches, they've played 5 matches. What we would do is we would add together the total number of goals scored, which gives us a total of 15. And because there were 5 games played, we divide that total of 15 by 5, and my average would be 3. So that's a really quick reminder of what an average is, and that's going to help us with our little investigation. So for this, you need to choose 2 numbers, and we suggest that you start with the numbers 1 and 10. 1 becomes your first number, and 10 becomes your second number. You're going to find the average of those numbers. So to do that, you're going to add them together, and you're going to divide them by the amount of numbers. In this case, we have 2. 1 plus 10 is 11, and then we're going to divide it by 2, and 11 divided by 2 is 5.5. Now that we've got our average, we're going to move our numbers around. We're going to get rid of our first number. We no longer need it. Our second number becomes our first number, and our average becomes our second number. We now have 10 plus 5.5, which is 15.5, and then we're going to divide it by 2. So we're doing 15.5 divided by 2. Now, if you want to get a calculator to do that, you can. That's absolutely fine. I'm going to do it in my head. So for 15.5 divided by 2, I know that 15 divided by 5 is 7.5. And I know that 0.5 divided by 2 is 0.25. So I have 7.75 if I put them back together again. And then you repeat your steps. Your second number becomes your first number, and your average becomes your second number. Have a go at that and see if you can notice a pattern. And when you think you've got somewhere, then that's when it's up to you to see what you think you can do next. Try something different. Could you have different starting numbers? Could you swap the numbers around and still get to the same answer or the same results? It's entirely up to you. So that's problem 1. Problem 2, if you're going to do it on Tuesday, is called Coprimes. Now, Coprimes works around factors, so we need a quick reminder of what a factor is. A factor is a number that can be divided into another. So for the number 8, we can have the factor 2, because 8 can be divided by 2, 4, 1 and 8. So these are all the factors of 8. 8 can be divided by these numbers. If we're looking at 15, we're thinking, what numbers can I divide 15 by? Let's start with the easy one. We can start with 1, and its pair is 15, and it can also be divided by 5 and 3. So we've got factors of 8 and factors of 15. We would say that 8 and 15 are co-prime. And the reason they're co-prime is because none of their factors are the same, except for the number 1. And for the purpose of today, we are ignoring the number 1, so it doesn't count as one of our factors. So 2, 4 and 8 are factors of 8. 15, 3 and 5 are factors of 15. They don't share any common factors, so they are co-prime. too far. So let's have a look at the numbers 9 and 15 this time. We already know the factors of 15 because we've just worked it out. Now let's look at the factors of 9. So 9 can be divided by 1. It can be divided by 3. And it can be divided by 9. Now we're going to ignore the number 1s. They don't count for today. But looking at these two numbers, we can see they have a common factor. They both share the factor 3. So 9 and 15 are not coprime. And this is where it comes on to what we're asking you to do today. First of all, you're going to start with the number 12, and I've given you the factors of 12 up here to help you. I would like you to find 4 numbers that are coprime with 12. So you're looking for 4 numbers that do not share the factors of 12, remembering 1 doesn't count. When you've done that, try the same